Hi, it's Mort here. So this is something I would recommend giving a try out. It doesn't take too much time during your day. So it's keeping track of the offer amount, and notice I said subtract peak pay. I'll get into why, tip amount, and even the base pay amount. And then you can even include days, and if you're really daring, you can include the time of each order. Don't make it too complex yet, but there's some patterns that you might be able to find in your area that might help you when you're making some choices. So this is June 18th last year I started doing this. And I did it for a month, and then base pay in my area went from 3 to 275. But what I noticed was that a lot of the orders I was doing were $7 and $8. And I work in an area of Chicago where there's a lot of large orders, so there's a lot of tips. So it's very likely for offers to go up. And then I continued tracking, and we're just scrolling through super quick because I did that all the way to December 2nd. And then I gathered some results, which we'll get into. So let me switch over to this little document I made. So breaking down the DoorDash hidden tips. As you can see, I started in June and tracked tips for 5 months. Here's some things I learned or knew about beforehand. So the hidden tips for a single delivery are when the cents are 0, 25, 50, or 75. At values that aren't those, like 31, 57, or 72, show full pay. Minimum offer amount for the total to be higher. That value is the minimum offer in your area plus $4. As I say below, the minimum offers could be 225, 250, 275, or 3. It's subject to change. In the oncoming year, those values might increase, but very likely to decrease. There's always pay cuts in this, unfortunately. That makes there's a threshold for hidden money, and it's 625, 650, 675, or 7. And these are for single deliveries. And most of the time, since the orders are so large, they aren't doubles, and they don't send you add-ons. Peak pay needs to be subtracted from every offer. A 675 offer during a $2 peak pay is 475. So if peak pay was 2, I would raise my minimum from 675 to 875. If it was 3, I would raise it to 975. The multi-stop offers have a different formula, and if you do a lot of them, you should keep track of them. Maybe you can find a pattern. And the add-ons, when they add on an order at the end, they have a different base pay. You should probably keep track of those separate. I would keep track of shopping orders separately. I've been noticing with Walgreens that they have a super high base pay, so you need to start at like $16, $17, depending on what you want to get out of it. Now, I also mentioned the subtotal being 90 increases the odds of hidden money, because at a certain point around 90 or $100, the customer is just suggested a 15% tip no matter what. As the distance, and this is something I learned from doing this, distance from restaurant to customer increases the offer amount needs to increase. There are offers that are too small for the distance from restaurant to customer. Example, anything going 6 miles from restaurant to customer needs to be at least $12 to $16 on the offer. If it was like $8.50 or $9, it's probably showing full pay. And it's very important that you separate that from your total mileage, because sometimes if you're far away, they love to send you like a 675 that's back in your area. Say you're 5 miles away, and that could actually be a very good offer. Demand plays an important role in offers. DoorDash shows you more when it's busy. There are weeks when the base pay is higher. There's also weeks when they'll show you as little as possible, especially and especially on big orders. They love when if the tip's really large, they want to show you as little as possible. There is no bad value above the minimum offer. Hidden tips can be on any offer amount above that minimum threshold. So here are some of the results. I think right away you notice that 675, the lowest, I did 234 times. 775 was 77 times. And I just and as it went on, as I went to higher and higher offers, I was driving further and further, and there were less and less examples of those. So most of my deliveries are within 1 to 2 miles, 3 at the most, from restaurant to customer. This means almost everything came out with that 675 plus peak pay. DoorDash also likes to show as little as possible at huge tips. It just kept making it more and more likely that deliveries were 675 in my area or 775. That's why I did so many of those. The lowest tip average for an offer amount with at least 15 examples was was the $7 offer for $22.91. And now that is area based too, but there were values that I didn't have a lot of examples, like 16, 1450, and 1475. Those came below 20, but I'm convinced if I had more examples that everything would kind of average out. You see, there were values on here that were like really high. There's a 43, 4 times 1375. These would probably average out as I did more of them because it's all random, but there were so few examples. Some of them were either too high or too low. But if you go near the top, almost everything's right in the same little range right there, right around $25, $22, $23, $25. And I think it would have averaged out. So using this, the one thing I learned is that it could be in your area that there's an offer amount that will show up more than other amounts with a hidden tip, but that's also distance based. So I don't think in every area it's just going to be magically, the 675 orders are going to work. It might be 725 in your area, it might be 850, especially if you notice that there's like a restaurant or a group of restaurants in one area and the customers are in another area. Like, I'm almost positive that, say, a lot of customers ordering from a really expensive restaurant were 4 miles away, you would probably be seeing a lot of $9, $10, $11 offers going that 4 miles away with really big, expensive orders, and those would be good. So that would be the value of tracking your own area. There might be a pattern like this for you. It might be slightly different. I would advise anybody who's doing the double orders to track those. See if you can find a pattern in them. DoorDash's simple system isn't too complicated for hiding pay. They're leaving a lot of patterns you might be able to take advantage of. Anyways, I hope this video might be of some assistance, but just a fair warning, you'd have to do the simple thing of keeping track for a while and doing that to get any results out of it. And you might notice something, you might not. Can't guarantee anything, but I can say that I found a bunch of patterns in this, and it helped me tremendously just to keep track of this information. So anyways, thanks for watching.